The Buffalo Bills, 7-3, taking on the 5-5 Texans. Buffalo is favored by 5.5 on the road with an over-under of 43.5. DraftKings has 87% of the spread money on Buffalo. You are 2-8 against the spread versus the Bills. And this is desperation in different forms for both teams. The Bills desperately trying to catch the Patriots. The Texans desperately trying to pull their way into the wild card chase. Division title is going to be tough now. Even though they still have 2 games against the Colts, they're behind by 3 games in the AFC South. Who do you like in this one?
I'm at a coin flip here with this football game here. First off, you know my thoughts on the Texans defense, right? Do I think they can shut down and slow down Josh Allen and company in that offense? Yes, I do. We saw that last year. I mean, they did it early on in the season last year. They have the kind of speed on the edge that can contain people like Josh Allen, right? So that kind of speed is where Josh Allen, when he plays the Houston Texans, some of those magical plays we saw him make last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and company, I don't think he's going to be able to make that against the Houston Texans, let alone their scheme on the back end is really special too. And you know my thoughts about Buffalo. They're not all that special as far as their ability to throw the ball at will against whoever it is, especially a team as talented as the Texans secondary. Now, can the Bills run the football? That's going to be the big question of this one altogether. And I would say no, I don't expect them to. This is the gifted part of the Texans defense is they're so fast and so good, they can play run defense and still get out of there and play pass when they're worried about the run. So with all that, I think I look at that and go, ooh, okay, I like that part of the Texans. But then there's the side of, do I trust the Texans offense to be able to move the ball consistently against the Bills defense, right? The Texans try to be balanced on that side of the ball. They're not a real good running football team, but they try to stay patient with it, right? So that's where I've gone back and forth in this one. And I want to take the Texans, but I just don't have the guts to do it. If it was C.J. Stroud, I would take the Texans in this game, no brainer. I'm going to take the Bills 17-14. I know. There's a part of me that wants to flip it and really go 17-14 the other way. And you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go with the Texans. I'm going Texans 17-14. I am. I'm doing it. Yep.
I may regret that.
It did.
Come Thursday night. For me, the analysis is very simple. All due respect to Davis Mills.
Yeah.
Josh Allen versus Davis Mills in prime time with postseason implications oozing from it. How can you go against Josh Allen, even with that great Texans defense? But it was enough to get me to find a number, even though, as you know, I don't look at the spreads, but I had a feeling 21-17 would give me that needle, that it was more than a 4-point spread, and it is. It's 5.5. I think the Bills will do enough. I think the Bills understand the stakes here. They are desperately chasing the New England Patriots, and I was talking about this earlier, the Bills had their years before the Patriots got good again, and now it's like, oh shit, the Patriots are good again.
Right. You gave us 3 years off? I mean, come on. Right.
I want to run something by you that I thought of earlier today. I know we got to get on to the next game, but Keon Coleman reportedly will be a healthy scratch on Thursday night, and it originates from the same outlet that reported first last week that Keon Coleman was going to be a healthy scratch. So that outlet has an in with Keon Coleman's camp, I assume. Is it possible that this Keon Coleman situation is kind of a microcosm or a test case of the overriding question, is it the talent or is it the coaching? Because it's the GM that drafted Keon Coleman early in round 2 last year, and it's the coaching staff that is seeing fit to keep Keon Coleman out of uniform the past couple of weeks. And I always look for that when pressure is applied and teams aren't living up to the standard. Is there going to be that dysfunction, that disagreement where there's a player who, under the politics of football, hey, we got to play this guy. We got to justify this pick.
Right.
This is a guy we put a lot into. We could have had Xavier Worthy. We traded down. We took Keon Coleman.
Right.
Versus a coaching staff that's like, screw this. I just got to win games, and he's not doing enough to help. And, oh, by the way, if the owner wants to know why our high pick isn't playing, I didn't pick him.
Yeah.
I got to coach the 53 guys I have.
Right.
So I just wonder whether there's just some of that because the Bills clearly aren't living up to what what was expected of them this year.
No, I hear you. I think, I think McDermott and Brandon Bead are on the same page with a lot of things, and I think something like this wouldn't happen without them all just going, yeah, forget it. Don't play him, right? I think it's gotten to a point where they're like, both sides are willing to go, let's not double down on a mistake and screw our offense over just because of that, right? So I'll give them credit there. And yeah, just with my knowledge of them and how they operate, I would think that was a conversation that goes down in totality with everybody there to make that type of move. But Pete will tell you, 2 weeks ago when they played Miami, I looked at that film and I came back on my podcast and went, man, Keon Coleman, I mean, I don't know if he even cares about playing. He was the first read on a few plays. Josh Allen hits his back step. He's ready to throw. And Keon Coleman's just kind of jogging like 80%, not even where he needs to be. That was concerning, let alone we know he's not that super explosive anyways. And yeah, it speaks to the problem of they're a little scary with the playmakers there. Last thing I'll say before this, Mike, and you tell me what you think here. The Texans, too, I worry about there's such an emotional fly around, go crazy type of defense. Can they do that on a short week and rev it up again so quickly? That's something I do worry about with these Thursday night games with a team like the Texans who are not real big and they're all predicated on fly around and run through the wall and go crazy. It's not easy to rev it up as we always talk about, 3-4 days later.
Well, and if you put too much into it, you over pursue, and Josh Allen slips past you and buys enough time, and he finds a guy 50 yards down the field wide open for a touchdown like we saw on Sunday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Josh Allen is a dangerous guy to be all revved up and hyped up and chasing around because he's the guy that you have a hard time catching. All right.
Yo. Thanks for watching, homies. We are now in the NFL season here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, game recaps, film deep dives, and much, much more.
Thanks again for watching. Subscribe, rate, review. Peace out. You know where to find us.